look the way you want it to look, but just receive it.
Amen.
Because I'm going to do something in that. Amen.
Amen.
So he answers by voice.
Mm-hmm.
So what that tells me, he speaks.
Yes.
He speaks. He don't just speak through the wind. He don't just speak through fire. He can speak.
Yes.
By voice. He is a living God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He is a living being.
Yes.
Come on now, I'm talking about he's living.
Amen.
He speaks.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. So so then, whatever. Then the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. When he called you, go. He didn't hesitate. He didn't say, wait, I got to do this over here. I got to see what the people are doing. Lord, I can't move because they're afraid. He didn't make no excuses. He said, come, and he went up.
Yes.
We don't go down. We go up.
Yes.
We look up.
Yes.
He rises us up. We
Yes.
lift him up.
Amen.
That's how it's
Amen.
supposed to be.
Yes. Yes.
So he went up.
Yes.
And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at the Lord, and many of them perish. And also let the priests who come near the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. Priests, that's who we are.
Yes.
A royal priesthood.
Yes.
Only the priest could go. Only the priest could go before the Lord.
Yes.
Only they could go in the tabernacle. Only they could go in the temple.
Jesus.
That's what he's saying. You are a priest. You are a priest.
Amen.
Come
Amen.
to me.
Yes.
Come to me.
Amen. Yes.
I'm calling you because you are royalty.
Amen.
You are my child. You are special to me.
Yes.
So, and he's saying, but they got to consecrate themselves now. You can't come to me any kind of way.
Right.
I need you to be holy because I am holy.
Amen.
Now, we make mistakes. We got flaws. We're not blameless. But he says, consecrate yourself. It consecrate the heart. He knows the heart already, but consecrate the heart. So he said, don't, but even the priests have to consecrate themselves. But Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you have warned us, saying, set bounds around the mountain and consecrate it. So even though they were consecrated, it's still only certain people.
Right.
Only certain people could be in the presence of the Lord at that time.
Amen.
Then the Lord said to him, away, get down and then come up, you and Aaron with you, a priest. And he was a priest. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them.
He's still. She just read it part.
When I was reading it, I started crying because we really don't take being in God's presence seriously. Like, we really don't understand what it means to be in God's presence. We really don't understand God. I think there's a misconception of God. We think that he's just this loving, beautiful God that doesn't. We know that he judges, and we know that he will do what he has to do.
Yes.
But I think we don't take it seriously. We don't take it serious enough to really understand what he's saying. We are his people.
Yes.
Like, my children are my children.
Yes.
And what I have belongs to them.
Yes. Amen.
And if they abuse it and misuse it, it's not that I haven't done my job.
Right.
It wasn't that Moses didn't do his job. It wasn't that the priests didn't do their job. It was individually you didn't do your job. So if they don't keep the statutes of the Lord that I have tried to teach them, then I am not responsible.
Right.
They have to seek the Lord for themselves. They have to consecrate before the Lord themselves.
Amen.
But I'm trying to instill something in them so that they won't see the judgment of the Lord.
Amen.
But Israel was so, oh my God. They saw the wonders of the Lord firsthand. We don't see them kind of things. And yet they kept going back. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we fall sometimes and we get back up.
Jesus. Yes.
But we hadn't seen some of the stuff that they saw.
No.
We hadn't witnessed the things that they witnessed. Me and Emily was talking about when they had to walk through the Red Sea. Me and her was talking like, man, if I had saw that water lifted on both sides, I would have been like, I'm not going over. I'm going to run like crazy to get to the next side. I wouldn't even stop. You talking about a marathon run. Because I ain't going to stop because I don't want that water to come down.
Yes.
I can't even imagine seeing the fish and whales and octopus. I can't even imagine seeing this water rise up and I just can't even imagine. You walk through.
Yes. Jesus.
You see what he could do.
Yes.
And yet, you would not serve him.
Jesus.
Just the whole Old Testament, basically, it's just back and forth with you. It's just back and forth. And then they cry out, he brings them out. Then they go back. I was reading Judges how the people, I was reading how the people, they would cry out and God would redeem them and deliver them. But then the next generation didn't know God. How is that? How did a whole other generation didn't know God if you teaching God? How did they miss it? Because we have to do what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
It's not just to sit with you. It's supposed to go out. It's not supposed to sit with you, evangelist.
Just when you was talking about relationships, just how the different dynamics of how God is, where, Moses, when he received his assignment, he was trying to get out of it. Lord, I can't talk with you, I got speech impediment, I can't do this. It's like, oh, who am I supposed to say is sending me? For everything that Moses gave God, God had to check him and say, well, I did not make you, I already know all this about you. And even when God was just telling him, go down there and tell them, and Moses had something back to say, and it made me think about how my kids do sometimes when I tell them stuff and they say something. I be like, didn't I just tell you to go do, just go do what I said? And, sometimes I'm sure they won't say it to me, but they'll be like, oh, makes sense what she told me. She got it right, but just the dynamic of the relationship that he had with God, where even when we try to get out of it, God still knew him. He knew his heart, but he gave him opportunity. Just go do what I said. Where, like he was talking about with the demand that nobody should touch the ark. It was what it was. If you touch it, you would just die. He didn't give no warning about that. He just out of disobeying. But with Moses, he had such a relationship with him where they talked. He had such a relationship with him that when Moses tried to counter and give God something, the Lord would still be, to me, like lenient with him. Like, go do what I said. Just go do what I said. When Moses doubted himself, when he kind of was afraid and didn't want to return to Egypt, and all these different things he tried to give God from doing things because he was afraid. He knew that he was still willing, and he still loved him. And just like this, just go do what I said, and show him, okay, well, what is in your hand? He asking me, I told you I was going to deliver you, and you get to the one, okay, now what do I do, Lord? What's in your hand? Like he just reassured him, and I just love that dynamic with God. Have such a relationship with him that God he literally can be whatever you need him to be, so you can do what he has to do.
And that God, you still saying God. That God had no mercy. He had mercy, but he sometimes he didn't have mercy. I was like, I don't understand how they even defy. like, when he said something, he meant what he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why they couldn't do it, because he meant what he said, but you're right. He always, like, has a ram in the bush.
Yes.
You say you can't do this, okay, now I'm saying Aaron with you. You say you can't, like you said, what is in your hand? Whatever you find to do it. If he say do it, just do it.
Amen.
You can't sit back and say, well, Lord, I can't do this and I can't do this, or I don't have the resources to do this. If he said it, why can't we just believe it?
Amen.
He
Amen.
said it.
Amen.
He is not a liar.
Amen.
Like, he is not a liar.
Come on.
Like, your kids, when you say we gonna go to the park, they believe it. And they gonna hold you to it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
mommy, you said we were going to the park. And that's the same. Lord, you said
Mm-hmm.
I'm the head.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna take it. Lord, you said you are my shield and my buckler.
Yes.
You said in time of trouble I can run to you
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
because you are my strong tower.
Amen.
Like you said.
Amen.
So he don't mind if you bring it back to him.
Yes.
Because they tell him, oh, so you know the word. You bring it back to me because I'm a man. He's a God of his word. Let me say that. He's a God of his word. Literally. He's a God of his word. But, like you said, just the relationship. Even the fact that God called him friend. He considered him a friend. Like, how awesome would that be to have a friend like Jesus? Or how awesome would that be to say, you can go to him anytime and he's there. He's not going to waver. He's not going to say, hold on a minute. He may not answer right then. He may not move right then. But you know he's there. So, I'm going to close.
Amen.
Just
Amen.
consecrate yourself. Understand that he wants your relationship. He wants
Amen.
your consecration. He wants your whole mind, soul, body, spirit,
Amen.
time.
Yes.
He wants you,
Amen.
individually you.
Amen.
He wants you as an individual to have a relationship with him.
Amen.
And that's when Revelation says, depart from me, I never knew you. If there's no relationship, he didn't know you.
Yeah.
Amen.
If
Amen.
there's no relationship, he don't know you. And you don't know him.
Amen.
You know of him, but you don't know him.
Yes.
And that's where we got to get to. It's not about just living a holy, it's about having that relationship. Because if you have a relationship, you're going to live holy.
Amen.
You're going to do the things of God. You're going to do the right things.
Amen.
But let's get the relationship that we need with God so that we can be in the presence at all times.
Amen.
It's there for us to get.
Yes.
It's there for us to witness.
Amen.
It's there for us to embrace.
Yes.
So it ain't no excuse.
Amen.
And don't say, well, and just an aside note. Don't say, well, we didn't have church today. We didn't have good church. We didn't have good service. The church is in you. If you didn't have good service, that's your fault.
Yes.
Because it ain't
Amen.
about nobody else. It's about
Amen.
you and your relationship with God. So
Amen.
if you didn't get nothing out of church, that's on you, boo.
Yes. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Let's go and think about all that.